'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to turn round where we hope to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be friends, and a true friend to be. 'Tis a gift to think of others, not to only think of me. And when we hear what others really think and feel, then we'll all live together with a love that's real. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be gentle, 'tis a gift to be fair, 'tis a gift to wake and breathe the morning air, and every day to walk in the path we choose. 'Tis the gift that we pray we may ne'er come to lose. 'Tis a gift to be loving, 'tis the best gift of all. Like a quiet rain, it blesses where it falls. And if we have the gift, we will truly believe 'tis much better to give than it is to receive. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right.
Welcome to Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Tiffany Sapp, the minister of this church, and my pronouns are she and her. Our opening hymn is number 1010, which is in your teal hymnal. It's We Give Thanks. There's a lot for us to give thanks for, so we are going to sing this simple verse 4 times through. So please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing number 1010 or 1010 in our teal hymnal. Your broken hallelujah here. Bring the large one that's beyond repair. Bring the small one that's too soft to share. Bring your broken hallelujah here. I know that people have told you that before you can give, you have to get yourself together. But they've overstated the value of perfection by a lot. Or they forgot you are the gift. We all bring some broken things, songs and dreams and long-lost hopes. But here together, we reach within. As a community, we begin again, and from the pieces, we build something new. There is work that only you can do. We wait for you. Please join us in a moment of silent contemplation as we prepare for our time together. You are the gift, and we thank you for being with us here today as we talk about generosity and giving. It all starts with the generous gift of your presence. Generosity as a spiritual practice can really increase our sense of abundance, and so today I want to share with you a magic word. Cindy Hatch shared this with me last Sunday, and I just love it. So I'm going to say this word, and then I'd like you to repeat it back to me, and we might do that a few times throughout the service. Are you ready for the magic word? All right, here it is. Abundanza. That was like really good for not being coached. So, Abundanza. Am I doing okay? All right, good. This is an Italian word that means abundance, but it is more than just that definition. It can be an exclamation of celebration like yippee. It can be a word that's used as a greeting or even as a way to wish someone good luck, as if to say, may your adventure be bountiful. And I think we can all use a little more celebration, good luck, and blessings, so let's say it to each other often today. Abundanza. Let's start this celebration with an abundant chalice lighting.
We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Abundanza. Good morning. I am Sarah, and I use the pronouns she and hers, and I am your service leader today. We welcome you, old friends and new, young and old, online and in person. You are an essential part of our gathering today. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday with us, we are stronger because of your presence. We are one people of many philosophies, many origins, many sexualities and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. Please silence your cell phones. Please observe the perfume-free zone. We also have activity bags by the welcome table for any of our younger friends who might need something to do during the service. Just make sure to leave them back at the welcome table after the service ends. This week, we are at low risk. This means that masks are optional during Sunday worship, and our services continue to be recorded and shared to YouTube. And no matter what the risk level, we have color-coded wristbands so that you can indicate your distancing needs. And it is especially important to stay home if you are sick. We'd like to invite the kids, youth, parents, and young at heart to join us for a time of all ages story. We are managing the camera angles to keep you off camera, so you don't have to worry about being on YouTube. So come join us for a story here in front.
Good morning. It is so good to see all of you today. Today we are talking about generosity and giving, and so I wanted to share with you a story I heard a lot when I was growing up. It's called the Giving Tree. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. See his little feet sticking out from the trunk? And the boy loved the tree very, very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me money?" "I am sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city, and you will have money, and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. That is a lot of apples. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day, the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my home, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you'll be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy.
Reverend Tiffany,
Yes, Sarah?
This really can't wait.
Okay. I mean, I am in the middle of a story right now.
Well, I know this story though, and I heard it as a kid too. I'm not sure it's sending the right message to our kids.
All right, I don't know what you guys mean. I mean, it's about love. It's about generosity. Shouldn't we all want to give the way that the giving tree gives?
I don't think we should. I mean, she just gave away all of her branches, and she's going to eventually give away her entire trunk. That boy is not grateful at all. He never says thank you, and he just keeps taking.
Well, shoot, Sarah and everyone else. I'm in the middle of the story already. Do you really want to disrupt the entire church service over this?
Yes, I think I do.
Well, what am I supposed to do now?
I can help.
What was that?
I can help.
You can help. Everyone, this is Justin, our new director of religious education. I can see I'm being usurped here. How can you help?
Sarah's not the only person to challenge the message that says that we should give until we have nothing left. A very creative author named Topher Payne wrote a different version of the giving tree that I think everyone here would like to hear. It's called The Tree Who Set Healthy Boundaries. Let's pick up where Tiffany left off, where the boy asked for the limbs. I am too busy to climb trees, said the boy. I want a house to keep me warm, he said. I want a wife, and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house? And the tree said, okay, hold up. This is already getting out of hand. Look, I was fine giving you the apples to help you get on your feet. They'll grow back next season anyway. But no, I'm not giving you a house. You know, I've seen boys like you pull this nonsense with other trees in the forest. First it's the apples, then the branches, then the trunk, then before you know it, that mighty beautiful tree is just a sad little stump. Well, look here, boy. I love you like family, but I am not going down like that. And while we're on the subject, the tree said, grabbing him by the collar of his shirt, I recognize friendships evolve over time, and we may not see each other as often because you don't have time for your tree friends. But we used to be real tight. Now it feels like I only see you when you need something. How do you think that makes me feel? The boy took a long breath. He felt a sour rumble in his stomach because he realized he hadn't considered his friend's feelings. I bet it makes you feel real bad, said the boy. And the boy began to visit more and learned about what was important to the tree. Their friendship grew, and they looked out for each other. The boy attended culinary school. The tree took courses online and got her certification in small business management. They did their homework together nearly every day. The boy became a pastry chef. Together they opened a bakery, selling the best apple pies anyone had ever tasted. It turned a profit in the first 18 months, which is most uncommon. Eventually, the boy had a son of his own, and much later, the son of the boy had his own family too. Because of their friendship, the boy was successful and fulfilled, and the tree grew wider and stronger, standing tall and beautiful in the forest for many, many, many years, plus a few even more after that. And each generation after played in her branches, and sometimes the tree would wonder what would have happened if she had given everything. And the answer was simple. She would have nothing left a long time ago. Setting healthy boundaries is a very important part of giving. It assures you'll always have something left to give. And so the tree was happy. Everyone was. The end.
Wow! Thank you for sharing that alternate story, Justin. I really appreciate it.
Welcome.
So I have a question for all of you. What do you think the message of this version of the story was all about?
To not give too much and to not let yourself drain out all your giving.
To not give too much and to not let yourself drain out all of your giving. I like that a lot. Thank you all for listening to our story. You can go back to your seats now. Abundanza. Karis could not be with us in person today as she is doing some family travel, but she wanted to share this musical gift with us anyway. This special music is a really good one to get quiet to and just let the music sink into our hearts. This is Everything is Free.
Everything is free now, that's what I said. Everything I ever done, gonna give it away. Someone hit the big score, they figured it out. They're gonna do it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. Even if it doesn't pay. I can get a tip jar and gas up the car. Try to make a little change at the bar. Or I can get a straight job, I've done it before. I never mind in working hard. It's who I'm working for. It's who I'm working for. Well, everything is free now, and that's what they say. Everything I ever done, gonna give it away. Someone hit the big score, they figured it out. Now that we're gonna give it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. day I wake up humming a song, but I don't need to run around. I just stay home and sing a little love song to my love, to myself. And if there's something that you wanna hear, you can sing it yourself. Because everything is free now, that's what I said. No one's gotta listen to the words in my head. And someone hit the big score, and I figured it out, that we're gonna do it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. Give it away.
With gratitude for this growing community, we gather together to share our joys and our sorrows. If you'd like to share a joy or a concern in person, please use these candle cards that are located on the back table. And if you'd like to share a joy or a concern from a distance, please email minister@hvууc.org. James and Joanne Medlin are saddened to pass along that James's mother, Jacqueline Medlin, passed away Saturday morning, 3 weeks shy of her 98th birthday. She died peacefully at her home after a long period of declining health, though she had a good quality of life up until very recently. Oak Hill Funeral Home in Kingsport will be handling the arrangements. Gerald Keep had a procedure this week to remove a melanoma from his forearm. The procedure went well. The malignancy did not spread to his lymph nodes, to our great relief, and he is at home recovering today. A candle for Mickey Adelman, a friend of the congregation. Her father passed away on March 15th at the age of 98. And a candle for the countless lives unnecessarily lost and the untold damage. Today is the 20th anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. And you are all invited to Amy Bond's Celebration of Life at 1 p.m. this Saturday. If you wish to light your own candle, please go around and form a line by the window, and Sarah will assist you. If you're on that side of the building, please go through the back door so you don't pass in front of the camera. And if you wish for us to light a candle for you, please raise your hand until I acknowledge you, and I will light a candle for you. And we light our first candle for you who are not in the building, but are ever in our hearts and minds. unspoken in our hearts and minds.
Hello, my name is Noelle Marshall, and I am the Social Justice Focus Group Leader for PeaceWorks, and that's why I carry my little peace purse. So, Tiffany asked if there was anyone who would like to give a testimonial about why you love it here and why you pledge. Well, last week during the improvisational church, Kirk made a statement. He said, you know, you can say no to an opportunity and stay safe and secure. Or you could say yes. And when you say yes, life is an adventure. So I thought I'd try it out. So why do I love it here? Because I can be seen and heard, and my contributions, financial and otherwise, are welcomed. This is a welcoming community. And I want to stay that way by saying yes to the many opportunities there are to serve here, and encourage others to enjoy the joy of saying yes, or abidanzo. And that yes, I would like to say, please include the collection plate. Now, I am going to tell you a secret. I never put anything in the collection plate in church. You know why? I do it electronically. It's very easy. I never forget. So it's all taken care of. But I'd like to give you one example of why I love it here. Last year, the HVUUC Social Justice Committee, we were reorganizing after COVID. And there were only about, 5 or 6 of us, and most of us were new. And we really didn't have any idea of what we were doing. So our tiny group, therefore, decided to do something big. Our tiny group decided to take a busload of HVUUC members and community members to D.C. to be part of the Poor People's Campaign. The Poor People's Campaign was a national call for moral revival, uniting people across the country to challenge the evils of systemic racism, poverty, the war economy, ecological devastation, and the nation's distorted moral narrative of religious nationalism. We wanted to answer that call. Now, that was a very tall order. We had to get a minimum of 40 people, or we would not be able to participate or schedule the bus to go up there. And those 40 people had to pay to participate. I remember standing on this podium and giving a little history of the Poor People's Campaign that was originally planned by Martin Luther King and asking for support from this community. I am so happy and grateful to report we met our goal. Our social justice team sponsored seats for anyone who wanted to support the needs of the underserved in our nation. Multiple congregants donated seats even if they were not physically or otherwise able to attend. Children were most welcomed. We also had community members representing diverse backgrounds join us. Okay, now, second prop here. So, Mary and Dion even made tie-dye shirts for us. So this is now a historic document of HVUUC's history. So we also got support from Taste Buds, Sierra Club, and others who donated food and other things that we needed for our travel, our 24-hour trip up and back to D.C. to stand in the heat, with a lot of others, maybe 10,000 other people and many other UU congregations from around the nation. Since that time, I can say that at least a half dozen of those who went to D.C. on that trip have now become active HVUUC members, and some have even joined our Social Justice Committee. So, our tiny social justice team now has 7 focus groups and has more than quadrupled in size. We love it here because the people we have met here do indeed side with love. Thank you.
Abundanza. Our reading today comes from Mark V. Ewert's book, The Generosity Path, Finding the Richness in Giving. He talks about generosity being a practice, and like most practices, the more you do it, the more it transforms you. Part of my own daily practice of generosity comes from a dear friend, Sharon Groves. Some years ago, she and I had developed an 8-session seminar on financial generosity, and we're teaching it together. I was on a phone call with her one day, frustrated with a mutual colleague who was not acting on something I needed her to do. Sharon asked me simply, "What is the most generous response you can have to this situation?" She asked it with care and general concern, not to shame or embarrass me, so I took the question seriously. It woke me up like an alarm, helping me to respond to my best self in a more caring and productive way, in that situation and countless others since. Now, whenever I am faced with a choice, a confrontation, or a need, I ask myself, what is the most generous response I can make?
Abundanza. Our generous responses are like dandelions. They give brightness and nourishment, and they will just spread and spread if a little wind of love comes through and lifts them up. They'll plant and grow and go to seed and grow again into infinity, much to the chagrin of lawn care professionals and much to the delight of children. Generosity spreads and multiplies. The dandelions are abundanza. Once, I encountered a teacher of generosity. I was at the end of a very long pastoral care-oriented day of ministry here at Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. I was making my last call of the day to bring a hot meal to a family that needed a little extra support after a long bout with family illness. If you've ever been sick while your partner is also sick, parenting a sick infant and a sick preschooler all at the same time, then you might know how significant the gift of a hot and ready, kid-friendly meal could be in that moment. I was pretty tired, and the fun of offering help was fading a little bit after the long day. And then, just like that, everything changed. I was greeted by a smiling child who was feeling much better in the way that only preschoolers can. And she had a gift for me, a bright yellow dandelion picked just for me. Her face was filled with joy as she presented it to me, and 100% of my tiredness just melted away with this abundanza. What I gave that night was nothing compared to what I received. Our interconnectedness is like that. It's like the hymn that's embroidered on my stole. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share. This is how we live. Organically reciprocal. My little sunshine dandelion guru taught me that the biggest and best part of the generosity path is the generous spirit that grows within us when we give. More than the value of the gifts themselves, a generous spirit is the gift we give each other and ourselves in our giving. It helps us love this world that we're living in just a little more. It reminds us of our interdependence. It reflects the spirit of reciprocity that so many practitioners of indigenous spirituality hold as foundational to their identity when they say all are relations. This generous spirit, when shared, spreads like dandelions scattered on seeds of love. And I see generosity and all the joy it brings all around our community. Meal trains, work days, fifth Sunday offerings, coffee hour, guys replacing rotten boards on the deck and the people who feed them while they're doing it, trunk or treats, Easter egg hunts, the way that we're kind to each other, the way that we give each other patience and the benefit of the doubt, the way we assume the best intentions of each other, gardens that are magically weeded and flowers that occasionally appear on the altar, people that bought seats for the Poor People's Campaign and the people who gave up their time for the trip itself, people that said yes to invitations to leadership this year, people sponsoring the work on our kitchen, the work on our roof, and of course the giving tree this winter. We are a generous people and an interdependent people. Our seventh principle is the foundation upon which we build our generosity. It says we affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are all a part. Here on this planet, we are part of a gigantic interdependent system. And our community right here is a microcosm of that larger interdependent system. And like the dandelion seeds that spread far and wide, our generosity cannot be contained within the walls of this church community, or it's not really doing what it's meant to do. Instead, it goes out into the wider Tri-Cities and plants seeds there. Our giving tree experiment this holiday season was definitely one of those dandelion seed spreading adventures. It was early on in my time here that we got the idea to participate in downtown Johnson City's Candyland Christmas tree display, and instead of just decorating it, we filled it with scarves and gloves and hats for the cold and unhoused people of Johnson City to stay warm with. Living our values, recognizing our interdependence, honoring the worth and dignity of every person, and especially those in need. This project took a lot of donations and a lot of volunteer energy. But it paid us back. It paid us back in joy and in hope, in surprise and delight. When we began with 400 items donated by you all, we were curious if we were going to be able to give everything away before the tree came down on January 10th. But after a few days, we saw how quickly items were moving, and we began to worry about running out instead of having leftovers. A few days after that, we began to realize that while our items were being taken as intended, many other items were being left by people from the wider community who heard what we were doing. We suspected that the project was beginning to turn into a true community cause. The tree was becoming a place that the generous in heart knew that they could leave their gifts if they wanted to make a difference. We received 143 items from Ballard's Infection Prevention Unit. We were given cash by strangers who saw us restocking the tree, which we used to purchase much needed children's items, and we kept finding new little bags full of generosity left on the tree by others when we came to restock. I heard reports from many of you all how it restored just a bit of hope, just a bit of faith in humanity. The giving tree just gave. It didn't ask you if you believed the right things or who you voted for. It didn't make you fill out paperwork or sit through a church service or go to a Bible study first. It just gave. And it received many more gifts from all these little secret Santas in the Tri-Cities along the way. Our generosity multiplied as the wider community got in on the fun. There were challenges too. The rapid rate at which items disappeared had many of us close to the project wondering if people were taking items with ill intent. Were mean-spirited people stripping the tree of everything it held? Or was the community need really that great? There's no way to know that for sure. I do know that I spent some of my time one icy afternoon quietly staking out the tree after I refilled it to see what would happen. People were worried, so I got some snacks and just sat by the tree. I'm like, okay, let's find out. During that time, I saw two people approach on foot, wearing layers of clothing as if they were doing all they could do to stay warm. There was ice on the ground that day. They circled the tree a few times, and they ended up leaving with about 8 items between the two of them, items that they clearly needed. I hope the rest of our gifts also got to people who needed them. Living with this ambiguity is hard, and the big question of where everything went is gonna remain unanswerable. Here's what our Giving Tree experiment taught me about these practices of generosity. First is that in general, people really do love to give when they can. I heard a lot of us who had been kind of blah about the holidays ever since the pandemic had set in. And these same folks were all of a sudden embracing the best aspects of the holiday season. It started to feel joyful and fun again. The beginning stages of the Giving Tree especially just felt full of hope and joy, all like we were making a difference. It turns out that we humans want to feel like we're making a difference. I don't know if that's like an all humans thing, but I do know that I've seen it here with you all over and over again. We feel good when we're making a difference. We feel good when we give. Second is that generosity in groups can be so impactful. Doing this together was definitely part of the magic. Decorating the tree, donating the items, bagging the items, restocking the tree all the time, and even communicating with people in the Tri-Cities who wanted to help. This took a lot of people. It would have been too much for one person. It probably would have been too much for just one committee. This is one of the great things about church. We pool our physical and intellectual and energetic resources so that we can do things together that we could not possibly do alone. And we take turns as people reach their limits, They lean out, and others lean in. The third lesson is that it is hard to give and not know what happens to our gifts. Mark Ewart talks about this in his book. He interviewed a woman who had put a lot of effort into a toy drive and then was crushed with disappointment when she discovered that in order to protect the privacy of the families in need, that she would never get to see the joy on the faces of the children who received the gifts that she had spent so much time and effort to select. She decided she wouldn't give that way again because her disappointment was that great. It is harder to give when we don't get to see the end of the story. This is a very human thing too, that in many ways our generous spirits are fed by seeing the good results of our gifts. Leaving items on the giving tree for absolutely anyone to take and not knowing if they were getting to the people who needed it was hard. It stretched our faith in humanity to its limits. It's an important lesson and one that we can't ignore. It also comes with a bonus lesson though, and that's about commitment. Sometimes commitment carries us through when the good feelings wax and wane, which they will almost always eventually do. It comes and goes. So that's the hardest lesson. But my favorite lesson is that our generosity multiplies. Our movement picked up momentum and strangers started leaving donations at the tree. Organizations reached out to us to see how they could help, and it brought tears to my eyes. In a world where there are so many reasons to believe the worst about humans, complete strangers were doing good and generous, anonymous things just because someone gave them an easy way to do it. And I love that so much. Our abundance multiplied like springtime dandelions. Abundanza. I'm glad we are this generous because this world needs more of this. And I'm also so glad that we're this generous because this church could not continue to exist without your generosity. The spirit of your warm and generous presences is what makes this place such a pleasure to be in. The generous gifts of your time show us where our priorities are for transforming ourselves in the world. And the financial investment that you make here is how we build the world that we are dreaming about. Your gifts build the beloved community. What do you want to build? Let's take a moment to imagine. What does the world you want to live in look like? Feel like, sound like? Breathe it in. And breathe it out like wishes dancing on a dandelion's head. Abundanza. In your bulletin is a pledge card. It's one of the many ways that we create this world we're imagining. Unlike our giving tree, we here have a very transparent budget that tells you exactly where your gifts are going. And if you keep coming back, you will get to keep seeing the good results. With your pledges, we will build a budget that our members will vote on at the annual meeting next month. And with all of this, we keep the lights on, the video camera running, we pay our staff, we keep up with the needs of this aging building, we support social justice efforts, we give our kids amazing learning opportunities and a lot of fun, and so many other things. We use it to build this world that we're dreaming about. And it all starts with a pledge. If you're here with us today or watching us at home, you are already part of this community from one degree to another. Today is an opportunity to deepen your relationship with this community by thoughtfully considering what you can give to make sure that we're here doing this work decades from now. Today is a promise that your gifts of time, treasure, and talent will make an impact here. So consider what you can give. Imagine the difference it will make, and fill out that confidential pledge card or email your pledge to stewardship@hvuuc.org. And it is confidential. Only our stewardship trustee and our treasurer will know your pledge. Pledging season is almost over, so please turn it in as soon as you can, and together, let's build a new way where we can all thrive.
When we take fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. And so we extinguish our chalice.
I have so many things I could say about that. After you.
And so we extinguish our chalice. But we take its light and warmth with us, multiplying their power by all of our lives and sharing it with the world. Thank you for being with us today. We hope you'll stay for coffee hour. Today, the Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans will have their spring equinox celebration at 2 p.m., and everyone is welcome to attend. And then later this evening, the youth group will be meeting from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the main floor of the RE building. Youth ages 12 through seniors can bring a snack, drink, or a friend and meet our youth group facilitators. This is your last day to let John Anderson.
If you want a book for the book club, come see me.
Yes. No, if you'd like to be a part of the multicultural book group that will be reading Mistakes and Miracles. This book group will meet once a month starting April 2nd and will read a chapter a month. Talk to John or email antiracism, that's ANTIRACISM, at HVUUC.org. If you're visiting us today, we are especially grateful for your presence. If you want to learn more about us and you're here in person, please go visit the visitors table, pick up a brochure, and sign the visitor book. If you're online, you can get more information by visiting our website or emailing visitor@hvuuc.org.
I am so glad that we could be together today. Thank you for joining us for this generous, joyous, abundant exploration today. Next week, I'll be out of the pulpit, and we will get a chance to hear from Charlie Mattioli about conversations he's had about Unitarian Universalism throughout the years. The anti-racism subgroup is meeting after church. If you're interested in the book group, that would be an excellent time to pick up your copy of the book. Our next Path to Membership class is set for Sunday, May 28th. There are still several spots open, so you can sign up on the back table or email membership@hvuuc.org. We are having a families listening circle during religious education time at 9:30 a.m. on April 2nd. This listening circle is about how to best accommodate our kids during Sunday services. And we are going to have a table at the ETSU Drag Show on Friday, March 31st. 6 p.m. at the Martha Street Culp Story Hour. You can see Tristan, or me if you want to help at the table, or you can email minister@hvuuc.org, or you can just show up and come enjoy an awesome drag show. As our time together comes to a close, let's give each other the gift reflected in these words. In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. Abbondanza. I've been having a lot of fun with our closing hymn this month, and I hope you have too. This song, "We Are Building a New Way," really rocks. And more than that, it has a beautiful message and intention for what we're doing here as a community. I feel like we really mean it when we say it, that we're building a new way together, and we're not done building yet. So as we're singing, the offering plates will be passed. Your donations make all of this possible, from amazing music to transformative religious education, from risky and rewarding religious services to social justice that moves beyond this place to transform the world. Thank you for your support and for building this new way with us. It is number 1017 in the teal hymnal. We are building a new way. Please rise with us in body or spirit, number 1017. Sit down.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. Can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Abbondanza.